Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, June 28th, and thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I am Andrea Bonner, Chair of HCC's Consumer Arts and Sciences, and I am joined by my amazing co-host this morning, Miss Stephanie Coleman, who is the founder and publisher of Trey Magazine. And Stephanie's going to tell us where you can find us. Stephanie?
Thank you. We are live on Houston's Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We are also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Thank you, Stephanie. It is Performing Arts Day with two guests from that Center of Excellence. One is about to host 1-minute plays from around the world. And I'm joined by Dr. Geoffrey Douglas, who's a drama instructor with the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence. But first, for Film Friday, we're welcoming the man behind the music. That is HCC's workshops to learn how to create beats and much more. I can't wait to hear about this. We are joined by Mr. David Sharma, who is an HCC professor and Ableton-Certified trainer with the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence. So welcome back to the show, David. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So in July, HCC is continuing its Ableton Live workshops after Nate Robinson held them last month. So before we get into that and what you'll be doing, tell us exactly what is the Ableton Live? What is all of that?
Sure. Ableton Live is a granddad at this point. It's been around for just over 20 years. It started as a piece of software that was going to let live electronic music happen, which is a very big undertaking back then. So you could just come on stage with your laptop. You didn't need a ton of other equipment to make it work. And it's really evolved from a place to just create performance to now a place to really just create music full stop. It's really built on the ways that the musician thinks in terms of time and repetition, um, as opposed to something like other software that's built from an engineering point of view. This is really built from a musician's point of view, and it's a really great way to teach making music in the computer.
That sounds really interesting. I may have to take a class or find out a little bit more about that.
Please do.
So you're called an Ableton certified trainer. What does that mean to be a certified trainer?
Sure. So any song that you hear on Spotify probably involved Ableton Live at some point in the process.
Wow.
It is absolutely ubiquitous in terms of music making. And so there are 380-ish of us in the world who are certified by the company to teach it. And I'm the one in Houston. There's maybe 10 of us in Texas overall.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. And I have Spotify. That's my main streaming platform.
For sure.
I don't work for Spotify, not trying to put a plug in for them or anything. So that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So how many sessions will you host in July and where will they be held?
Sure. We're holding it up at the North Forest campus. I forget the exact room, but they built it out fresh 2 years ago, and it is a phenomenal sound creation space, music education space. I wish I remembered the room, but it absolutely blew me away. So this is now the third year that we've done it there. To make it easy for registrants, we're only doing 2 sessions. So it's 2 Saturdays from like 9 to 1, I think we're talking about. Real easy. Come in, learn about making music, regardless of if you've never thought about it before or if you've worked in any other capacity. I'm going to meet you where you are. And then we spend 4 hours one day, 4 hours the next day, and then you're off. You got my email. I'll help you out wherever you're going.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. So you'll have some future beat makers, I'm sure, people that those are interested in that session. So tell us about the day-to-day life of David Sharma. What does that look like?
Sure. It's different now than when I was in my 20s. I think that's the case for everyone who's in a creative field. I do a lot more teaching than I used to, and that is extremely gratifying, seeing people just sort of either find their creative voice or really develop a pathway that they're interested in. But yeah, I'm writing music for films. I'm writing music for myself. I'm working with a collective of DJs here, building a new brand. I was also just on vacation, so I haven't thought about work in about 10 days, and that was awesome.
I'm jealous.
Clearing the brain to be creative again. But yeah, it's like anyone I know involved in the creative field, you do a whole lot of things to make the one thing that you do actually work. So I teach, I write, I edit, I mix, I produce. I try to maintain some sort of social media world, and and I network, and that's what we do.
That's awesome. And you appear on HCC Up to the Minute as well. So, and
Yes.
it says you're on faculty at HCC, and you may have
Mhm.
mentioned this already. So tell us a little bit more about what you teach, maybe what you're going to be teaching this coming semester, all of that good stuff.
Sure. When I first came to Houston in 2015, I met with the chair of the then chair of the audio technology department, and the facilities that we have at HCC rival the best studios in the world. I had just moved here from New York City, and what we have at Spring Branch is the things that they knocked down in New York to build condos. It is just stunning, the facilities that we have. So I teach whatever they ask me to teach. I've taught some introductory courses in songwriting and programming and music computer stuff, but my real focus these days is a class called Remixing in Ableton Live, which is equal parts technique and cultural references. You're going to learn a whole lot about ska and reggae in that class and how all modern music derives from things developed in Jamaica in the 1960s. And then I also teach a class in synthesis, which is absolute nerdery of just getting inside sound making. So if you want to learn how to make something sound like a spaceship taking off, that's the class.
Oh, that's interesting. I would love that. Did you mention something about film? Do you want to share anything about your work with film? I think you said, writing for films, but anything you'd like to share about that?
Sure. I've licensed a ton of music to film and TV over the years, which again that's what you do as a songwriter and a musician. That's one of your revenue streams. But I worked on scoring an independent film over the last year that started out as just recreating a song for it, and then through a relationship with the producer and director began just sort of submitting music for other aspects and wound up scoring the whole film, which is maybe the most fun I've had in making music in years. It was an absolute blast. I don't teach it, but we have a phenomenal music for film program at HCC taught by Jeff Walton. And yeah, I've learned a ton just by hanging around Jeff as well. So again, I can't overestimate or over announce the resources that we have for making music and audio at HCC.
Well, I'm glad you shared that because, I'm my Center of Excellence. We've got fashion, culinary, all those things. And I don't think people realize the wealth of, information that we have and the types of classes that we have at HCC. So thanks for sharing that. I hope the people that may be interested get to see this show to, get that little plug in. And before we go, I think we've got just one more minute, and I'm going to ask something that's totally off script. Between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, who won? Who won the rap beef?
I just feel so sorry for Drake. I saw that video last night of them singing "They Not Like Us" at his concert, and he just walked away just like the saddest teddy bear you've ever seen. And I love Toronto, but Kendrick, hands down. Sorry, it's not even a
Yes.
competition.
No, I just had to slide that in. Being a music person, and I liked that song, and then I saw all of that. So that just a little fun to end the show. But David, thank you so much for joining us. David Sharma, who is HCC professor, Ableton-Certified trainer from the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence, and our Film Friday guest. We'll have your information in the post after the show. David, have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Up next, after the commercial break, Stephanie will discuss the drama department hosting 1-minute plays from around the world.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much that helped me. I finally knew that I had somebody.
Hello and welcome. We're back with Dr. Geoffrey Douglas. drama instructor with the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence. Welcome to the show, Geoffrey. This is an annual event that HCC hosts. So let's start there with you giving our viewers a brief explanation of what the festival is all about.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So Gi60 stands for Gone in 60, and it's part of an international theater festival that focuses on trying to have as broad an opportunity for playwrights from around the world to get their work produced as possible. So the idea was that they would just be 60-second plays. So essentially, it is a huge collection of 60-second plays, just one right after another, and we get to see a lot of different playwrights' work, and then the students that are performing it get a really good experience about trying to put together so many fast-paced and exciting stories all at once.
So as you think about the time, 60 seconds is a very tight timeline. What was the thought behind 60 seconds and not 90 or 180?
I think maybe, this wasn't mine that I created. We've been very lucky to join in with cities with performances and festivals that are taking place in London and in New York. And then we're the most recent addition. We started about 3 years ago, I believe, or 4 years. So I would assume that it was the idea of being very brief. And I think that the idea also, like, Gone in 60 sounds kind of exciting. Maybe that works a little bit better.
Yes, no, indeed. And I understand that this is an all-encompassing theater company. Explain what that means.
Yeah, so the students that are working on this production, because it's during the summer, everyone that is involved in the production does a little bit of everything. So everyone that is acting has also worked on the scenery. They've also worked on the props that we're going to use. They helped pull costumes and decide things. So they did function as all of the parts of theater all together, as one theater company.
Nice. And so with that process, just regarding the time frame, how does what's the length of time to sort of get the ideas together, and then when they come to the space as one, to build the props, to build the costumes?
Sure. So we started, this is part of the summer program, the summer first term program. And so we started, I guess, about a month ago, and we have, we selected the plays, and then the students showed up, and we ran sort of callbacks. They read for different parts, and we figured out who would be best for what part. And then from then on, we've spent hours every day building scenery. We've been in rehearsal. We've been, working on props and everything else. And so it's been a lot of work in a very short amount of time, which makes sense for Gone in 60.
Yeah, it's a very short amount of time to pull all of that together and pull that in. So, and we even have a playwright in your midst. Is that correct?
We do. So we've been very lucky to have many playwrights from the community, from Houston and from the state of Texas that submit work and get it produced here. But we have had a student written play be selected every year, I think, for the past 3 years. And this year we have another student who is appearing in the show. She's acting in the show. And then as part of the process, she's getting to see her work up on stage as well.
Oh, congratulations to you and her. That's impressive.
Yeah. Her name is Ebony. So we're very proud of her. She's done excellent work.
That's great. And how does this play a part in the summer drama practicum?
Yeah, so this is practicum is the course that we have for production of theater. So if you'd like to do theater with us, you can reach out and sign up for the practicum class. And basically, like, the entire course is the rehearsal and production of a play. So they are getting course credit for this as well, which is wonderful.
That's excellent. And for those who are excited to attend, where will it be held?
This is going to be held at the Performing Arts Center in Stafford, on the Stafford campus. We're in the Black Box.
Okay, wonderful. And the logistics around tickets?
Yeah, so there should be a link. The tickets are for free, but we do ask that you try to reserve tickets because we have fairly limited space. And you can do that through our ID Loom website, which I think that I sent you a link for. So anybody that's interested can follow that link and sign up and come and see, some students produce some really amazing work.
Indeed, we will have the ticket info in our post after the show. But before we let you go, tell us a little bit about your drama program.
Yeah, so we are a small but mighty group of faculty members that work together. We all do a little bit of everything and move around a lot. So in each semester, we tend to teach different classes. So for instance, last semester, I taught a theater history course and an acting course and a theater appreciation course, as well as the practicum. Other of our faculty teach movement or styles of acting or stagecraft or things like that. We do have a wonderful program that you can get an associate's with a emphasis in different aspects of theater, and those credits could transfer either to a 4-year school, or you could decide to go on and begin working either locally or move somewhere else and try your hand just as a professional right out of here. So that our goal is to train, scholars and practitioners of theater.
That's wonderful. It is different in the arts because you do have the ability to practice your craft in this very organic world, right? That it's not linear. It doesn't have a unique plan that everyone can follow to get where they want. What are some of your fondest memories around that, or what can students look forward to in finding their diverse talents within the programs?
Well, one thing is that you do get an opportunity to try just about anything. If you're interested in designing costumes or designing scenery or working with lights, we make it, you don't have to have had any experience. We are happy to show you how it works and give you an introduction and dive in that way. There's also plenty of opportunities to act. There's opportunities like Gi60 if you wanted to try your hand at creative writing and you could submit a play. So there's the one thing that I love most about our department is that we are very, very open and we're very, very all-encompassing, and we encourage our students to try out as many different facets of theater to find where they enjoy themselves the most, where they're excelling the most.
It's a unique field because it does encompass everything from writing to music to costumes. Do you have a favorite personal piece in the theater arts program for yourself that you found your niche?
Are you asking what's my favorite thing to do in theater?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh man, part of my problem was I loved it all so much that it was hard for me to pick. I would probably say that I like working with new plays the most. So one of my favorite things, and I got the opportunity to work with Ebony on her play, looking at it, working with her about structure and things like that to help develop it into something, big and wonderful and exactly what she wanted. That's something that's called dramaturgy, and it's wonderful, and it's my favorite thing to do.
So I'm going to ask the question, and I know you explained, we're talking about a new student coming in with all of that energy and talent and variety of ways to express. Is there a particular intro into this experience that you would recommend in the program, or just kind of come in, look at the curriculum and pick what you like the most?
I would say that your best bet if you're interested in theater is to take our theater appreciation class. It is a great opportunity. It's one of my favorite classes to teach simply because it is a survey of all of the really cool, interesting parts of theater, all of the cool, interesting parts of things to do. We've had a lot of students that were non-majors or even majoring in something else that took a theater appreciation class, got interested, maybe they auditioned for a play, and now have continued their studies once they found an interest in it. But that's a great chance to get a survey of everything. You learn, you get an opportunity to act, you get an opportunity to design some scenery, you get an opportunity to write a play. All of those things happen in the one class. So it's kind of like a sampler platter of all the different things that you could do. That's a great place to start for sure.
That's great. It's a little appetizer there. Well, Dr. Geoffrey Douglas, we are so excited for Gi60 and all the other opportunities for people to experience the work of you and the students and the entire department. And as drama instructor with the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence, we'll have your info on our post after the show.
Thanks very much. I appreciate you guys.
Enjoy. Coming up after a quick commercial break, Andrea and I will return with some news and announcements.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school so I can be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hi, everyone. We have got some great news, events, and announcements for you. First, we've got free vaccines, meningitis, flu, and COVID. I hate to tell everybody, but COVID is still out there. I've heard a lot of people recently that have it. But all HCC students registering for fall classes qualify for these free shots. That's a great deal. So 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. today, you still have a little bit of time at the Northline campus, Friday, June 28th, which is again today at our Northline campus. So registration info is going to be in the post after the show. And Stephanie, I'm going to go ahead and give this next announcement because that affects me because I love HCC so much, HCCTV so much that I should be doing PEPs right now. I've got 2 more to do. But last really couple of days for our PEP deadline, they must be acknowledged by, I think Sunday's the 30th, June 30th. So for more info, visit My HCC or contact your talent engagement senior partner or your manager. And the deadline is June 30th for all 10-month full-time faculty and staff. Check our post after the show for information. So Stephanie, tell us about the registration fairs that are coming up.
Yes, they can kickstart your academic journey. HCC's registration fairs offer personalized support from admissions advisors who can answer all students' questions. They can help them enroll and complete their checklist items. The next one is Wednesday, July 3rd, so that's right around the corner. And it is located at Eastside, Braes Oaks, Stafford, and West Loop campuses. For times then to register, they can also check out our post after the show.
Great.
So that should be really exciting.
Well, tell us about July 4th too.
Yes, that is surprising that we are halfway through the year and celebrating July 4th. But isn't it? The East Side campus, everyone can join HCC's Southeast as it celebrates the 4th of July with all American hot dogs and Frito pie. You cannot go wrong unless you're trying to work out, then it's a little challenging. But 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., that's Wednesday, July 3rd, East Side campus on the Student Life patio. For more information, they can also check out the post after the show.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. Everyone, fall registration is open. I get excited about registration because it's just a new time of the year, new students, returning students, all that great stuff. So registration for the fall semester is open with regular and smaller semesters offered in a variety of programs. Like all of HCC's courses for the summer and fall, they are offered online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, which you have a combination of face-to-face and partially virtual, in person and hybrid lab. So there, any kind of way you want to come, we will see you. So to learn more about HCC's programs, all of the start dates and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply. So coming up next week, which will be July, if you can believe it, like Stephanie said, we're almost halfway through the year, will be Mental Health Monday with our regular monthly guest, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick. And we'll also feature a Music Monday guest who connects people with music that is woven into the fabric of the United States. He was also one of the musicians featured in HCCTV's recent Juneteenth documentary. That's great. Thanks for joining us today, Stephanie. It was so good to have you. I love seeing that pretty smile. And we'll see everybody next time.
Indeed. Enjoy. It's a pleasure.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.